When they say you're not ready, that you'll never make it on your own, that's the time to really shine.
First of all, you're nothing but a trashy hoe. Second of all, you suck dick. Third of all, you're not a boss ass bitch. You're a boss ass trashy hoe.
This is an off-the-cuff video about the current Camila media blitz that's been going on nonstop, so be prepared for some random streams of consciousness. But yeah, I wanted to make this video to cope with the aggressive CXOXO promotions. Right now, Camila is trying to make a comeback, and it's been disastrous. The people have spoken, and they not messing with her or her new music. She's getting dragged left and right, which is the only silver lining in this situation of being inundated by cabello fodder against my will. But while I was kicking my feet up and enjoying the negative responses to Camila, justice for Normanis by the way, I started to notice that Camila's desperate to recapture grand commercial success again. But it's interesting that with her new hunger on full display, she turns off the general public, as opposed to Jade Thirlwall, who is just as desperate for success, but shows her hunger in her music, and the public is more receptive towards her. For as long as I can remember, Camila was presented with the most opportunities to succeed. For example, in Fifth Harmony, Cabello was the favored one. She had a separate deal from the other girls where she could make and promote solo music while in the group. All of this allowed her to get a head start on her former group members when she went solo. But I didn't see the zenith of her privilege until her Tumblr scandal happened in December 2019. Back then, everyone was talking about her expose, and I thought it was the end of Camila, but that obviously wasn't the case. 2 years later, she came out with Cinderella, where she played the lead in the 2021 film. Then she dropped an album the next year, and from her activities and her attitudes, it was business as usual. She was still being promoted at the same level pre-scandal. Even right now, you could argue she's upped the ante, since she's on a new label with Interscope, UMG. So at this point, I'm convinced Camila is a cat with 9 lives. She keeps getting opportunities, and there's still industry efforts to protect her. She's never been held accountable for her actions with the Tumblr situation, and for a while I was waiting for karma to take her out already. But instead, there's articles like these floating around, trying to rally Camila supporters and trying to quell all disdain for her. These are all from Vulture, by the way, and they're desperately trying to defend her. I don't know who over there is on Interscope's payroll, but look at these headlines. Just give in, babe, it's okay to like Camila's new album. Also, look at this particular argument. Look at the evidence that they're using to support their headline. Secretly texting how good the album is, and the tweets to decide to link. Come on now, you're reaching. These tweets aren't even popular, like, be for real. Complex 2 is another platform that was religiously posting her, and I keep thinking why the industry is still willing to invest in Camila.
I don't know. I don't know, but I want it to happen.
I think the reason why Epic invested in Camila so much at the start of her career was because Epic wanted to have another J-Lo to take advantage of the mid-2010s Latin wave that was peaking back then. They saw a lot of potential in her commercially. She had the look. She also had the potential to cross over to different markets, being fluent in Spanish, being Cuban, but she was also appealing to white audiences. Plus, this girl is a hard worker. Like, I can say a lot about Ms. Hair, but she has a strong work ethic. Along with a malleable personality to match, she's desperate for success, so she'll do whatever it takes. And Camila had a lot of success. She had the Spotify numbers, the streams, the listeners, the followers. I think she's made history being the first Hispanic woman to reach RIAA diamond status with Havana, as well as having 2 top 10 hits on the Hot 100. She got some top 40 hits too, along with platinum hits. So I must admit, these are very impressive accomplishments. It's because of these accomplishments, Interscope thought Camila was a good investment, and invest they did. Leading up to her 2024 album, CXOXO, Interscope UMG had her link up with their biggest artists for clout that had her on every interview platform to talk about the album. There were pop-up events, there were album signings, listening parties. It was really a media blitz, not only here, but across the pond. And all this really reminds me of how back in the day, pop stars used to market themselves like this before streaming took over. So that was interesting. Last thing I want to point out is that UMG was able to get Drake to not only feature on CXOXO, but also he had a song to himself on the album. That alone tells me so much. You know, Interscope was very adamant about making Camila a commercial success at all costs. I mean, I don't know about you, but if someone had a solo track on my album, I have no dignity. Like, Camila must have really been desperate to do well. But again, Camila being desperate is nothing new. Camila has always been hungry to be this major pop star on the same level as the Billie Eilishes or Ariana Grande. We can see in her work ethic from the beginning, she's known to do multiple sets in one night at the same venues. Lord knows she's putting in a lot of work right now over on TikTok for CXOXO. However, something that's different this era in comparison to her past ones is that she's really extra desperate this time around. I've never seen her show so many private parts accidentally and on purpose. Like, how many stunts do you need in an album cycle? And then she's saying all this cringy sexual stuff.
The girls are wet tonight. Sorry.
Like, what in the humiliation ritual is going on? And speaking of what's going on, I needed to talk about her new image. To me, I think Camila was pivoting to a new audience. That's the whole point of this rebrand. But she couldn't completely distance herself from her past, so I think she figured that she'd have to play into it.
In your orbit, like I'm in people's orbits again, like I'm back almost, and I'm bad, diabolical. It's like embracing that baddie kind of villainous energy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think Camila took a page from Taylor's Reputation era. I saw that she was using a snake imagery for one of her music videos, but most of the inspiration came from Spring Breakers, the 2010s party girl aesthetic. Cabello dived in completely into that sleazy look. She's definitely not the good girl anymore, something that the public already clocked. This time though, Camila is embracing it openly. I also think that she went into this direction because sex sells, right? Camila needs to show Interscope that she can be lucrative right now. To justify all the resources that they've put in her, the stakes are really high right now. And just as a little side note, I'm noticing Camila is promoting with an airiness to her.
Bleach and tone, like what do you mean tone?
Which was a stark contrast from her past self. I remember during the shutdowns, Cabello didn't look good at all. During that phase of her career, Camila's struggles were more visible than ever. Now she's in a much better place, but I low-key think that Camila used her low period to unofficially atone for her past transgressions. Since the world saw her get her quote-unquote karma, that would be her get-out-of-jail-free card. So I'm thinking that she thinks she doesn't need to address her past racist behavior to the public because of all this. And to be fair, it's a possibility that Camila did do the work in private and is a better person, which is why she feels comfortable moving like she has a new lease on life, not caring to acknowledge her past incident. But yeah, it doesn't work for me. But anyway, I think in her mind, she thinks that she was thrown into the deep end and she's done the work, and so she's learned how to survive it, and now she's back and better than ever.
They always said this city would be underwater by now. Then again, that's what they said about her. I guess they both learned how to swim.
I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm kind of all over the place here. It's interesting how her rebrand and her carefree attitude translates to her relationship with Black people. CXOXO was heavily inspired by hip-hop. She's heavy-handed with associating herself amongst Black artists in rap. And with all this association going on, I had to ask, who is this for? And what's the reasoning behind this?
I'm doing all the things that make me feel good.
I think she's overcompensating in response to her racist past being exposed. She's linking up with all these Black people to ward off the racist label. It makes it harder to call her racist when all these Black artists are okay working with her and co-signing her. But her plan falls short. Firstly, we've seen people be anti-Black and yet love the cultural products Black people make. We've seen people who are racist break bread with Black people. It doesn't change anything. Secondly, her transgressions require more than linking up with Black artists. Remember, she was so racist, she needed racial healing sessions for a year. Not to mention her past attitude fostered a racist fan base, a fan base that racially bullied Normani off the internet, a situation that was so traumatizing she's still working through it to this day.
And I think that kind of, it really did shift my perspective when it comes to social media and relationship, which I'm still working through, is being able to trust myself in that again, which is why I'm not as active.
Thirdly, her actions thus far aren't to make amends with the Black community. She's being performative. Funny how she'll work with Black artists and say she loves hip-hop and yet not go onto Black hip-hop platforms to promote.
Even me, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know about this.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not yearning for Camila to invade our spaces. And who knows, maybe she's tried to get on Black platforms and they've just rejected her, so I don't know. Yeah, it's just not working out. It'll always fall short, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to bring this up, it's a little side note. Something else that I've noticed that Camila is doing right now is to link herself with Black female artists. She's reached out to Normani and some other people. In regards to Normani, Camila has been chasing Normani down from 2022 to now. Camila was trying to get her cool moment that she can parade around to signal to people that she and her are cool and to say, look, I'm not racist. And while Camila has been desperate for Normani to publicly acknowledge her, Normani has been taking her sweet time, only responding to her when it benefited her using it as promo for her new album. This is one of the few times I condone being an opportunist. I don't think these two are cool. I think this was a closing of a chapter. Normanis' response was to the point. There was no affection. And on top of that, Normani doesn't need to forgive Camila if she doesn't want to. And that goes for all the Black people that Camila offended. Camila might be a better person, but she isn't deserving of forgiveness. Forgiveness is earned. And at this point, as a Black person, it's in your best interest to pay Cabello no mind. Which is ironic since Camila has been trying to strike up connections with other Black female artists besides Normani. Chloe Bailey was one of them, but Chloe has been paying her dust. Thank God she knows better. But I can't say the same for everyone. When Camila reached out to the mixed race African artist Tyla, she responded back to her. Anti-Black girls linking up. Makes sense, right? But I guess someone with sense told Tyla to delete her response. It's actually a really bad look since Tyla is under fire for her racial identity and being a culture vulture, so it's not a good look to link up with a girl who had an anti-Black past. Like, come on now. Another African artist that has interacted with Camila was Ira Starr. She commented under her post, and I don't think Camila replied, but I was super disappointed and shocked when I saw this. I am giving Ira a side eye, but there's a part of me that thinks that maybe Universal put her up to interacting with Camila online to help with Camila's reputation. Ira is under UMG just like Camila, and I think UMG has pushed other Black female artists to interact with Camila too. City Girls, for example, has a joint deal with their label in Motown, and Motown is under UMG, so I think they were forced to do their collab with Miss Hair, but outside of that, they have not acknowledged Camila whatsoever. At least I don't think they have. And what's really interesting in all this is how with the Black women, we see how they aren't welcoming to Camila in comparison to their Black male counterparts. Lil Nas X is out here being her best gay friend. Drake, who is technically mixed, he's been out with Camila on a few occasions, giving her a feature, giving her a song, and he's given her so much publicity. And like, I just wish our Black male entertainers were as hard-lined as our female counterparts. In a perfect world, I wouldn't want anyone to work with her, but I'm going to give grace towards any of the Black people who have worked with Camila. Camila has a lot of influence backing her, so maybe these Black collaborators didn't have a choice. So who knows? In general, this whole I have Black friends thing just comes off as her using Black people to show mainstream America, aka white America, that she's changed.
That's exactly, thank you, because you understand me.
Plus, it speaks volumes that she decided to link up with Drake, who was enemy number one in a lot of Black spaces. Not to mention, with all her talk of her love for hip-hop, being a student of it, it doesn't help her situation that her music sounds like she's horribly cosplaying a rapper.
And my tooth is getting long. I'ma hug the mic, take a bite, peekaboo thong.
She studied hip-hop to sound like that. Y'all, like, no joke, that rap line in Chanel No. 5 physically hurt me. Beware to those who want to listen to this album. So here's my thing. I know Camila doesn't care, but for me personally, I don't care what she does. I will never entertain a Camila redemption unless she does a serious sit-down interview to address her past scandal. Like before, I said in my other Camila video, I prefer her to sit down with Tamron Hall. If not her, then maybe a Robin Roberts or a Gayle King. They're good alternatives. You know, just for once really addressing what she's done and face the elephant in the room. If she does that and she makes a public apology to Normani, then I'd think about giving her a shot. But Camila probably thinks too much time has passed, so nothing she does now will rectify her past. Plus, if she did all that, she might not have a career, so she's avoiding that at all costs. So who knows, right? Who knows? Okay, so I took a little detour, but back to Camila's rebrand. It's just not believable to me for a multitude of reasons. From what I can tell with this album cycle, this was supposed to be her big comeback.
I am not Cinderella. My life has not been a fairy tale. Forget the image, forget the ensembles, forget the rumors, forget the short skirts, big hair, whatever. I owe this to the fans, and I will never forget you.
Thing is, no one was asking for her to come back. As a matter of fact, did anyone ask for this rebrand? Camila wasn't a pop star that people took serious enough to want her to come back. She was a C-list pop star on par with Charlie Puth and Meghan Trainor. They make a few good hits and fall out from the mainstream. Now, I don't know much about rebranding, but I do know that they are mostly associated with pop stars.
I don't know what the discomfort I feel when people are like, oh, like she's like a pop girl that's like, do you even feel like I'm like a pop girl?
No. Yep, make no mistake, Camila is a pop star to the core. Most of the time, rebrands are used by pop artists to be seen as grown, to be taken seriously as an artist of critical acclaim, and sometimes it's just both. Good branding comes from an organic place of said pop star, and it's quenching the thirst of what the audience, what the general public needs at that moment in time. You know what I mean? Do we need another party girl to hit the scene? I mean, we have so much already. I don't know. Now, I have to ask, what was organic about Camila? You know, like as soon as she hit the scene, she was chasing trends and biting off of other people's sounds. Even when she was making Latin pop, it always felt like she was riding the wave of other big Latin pop songs or Latin twinge pop songs. And just hold on a minute. I just realized this. Camila has taken a lot of career inspiration from Selena Gomez, J.Lo and Selena Gomez. Like the way these artists have been utilizing their Latin backgrounds, how it played out in their music. You know, I'm more familiar with Selena than J.Lo because J.Lo was a bit before my time, but I just think with Selena, the reason why everything worked out for her when she was doing the music thing really heavy was that she had better people behind her, giving her better songs, and she had a stronger fan base being a Disney kid at the height of the Disney Channel. Anyhow, regardless of how they navigated their careers, and just comparing the two, I mean, Selena Gomez, her revival era, I'm not a fan of Selena Gomez, but you know, her revival era, she had hits after hits after hits. Like she was just like on fire back then. And nothing she was doing back then, Camila can never touch that, right? I've never thought of Camila as someone who could make grade A quality pop music or music of substance at all. She was a novelty pop act that came from a novelty group. So there was a part of me that didn't understand Camila doing a rebrand. Like I had to question a rebrand from what? But then you factor in her sordid past, along with her desperation for major success, and then you see right through her. And I just want to mention this because when watching the other videos about rebrands and all that stuff, I don't know why no one mentioned this, but Dove Cameron had the most drastic and organic rebrand back in 2022. You know, back then she came out with a whole new look, and at first glance, it was a little jarring, but if you know Dove, it made sense. She always had a dark, emo aura going on, and that's what made her intriguing to me. She can embody perky blonde Disney girl, but you can tell that there was a dark edge within her, and when she came out with a new look, what really helped sell it was her hit song, Boyfriend. Like, I don't know what's in the water right now, but if you're going to reinvent yourself, you better make sure that the music hits. Don't embark on this huge media blitz demanding attention, trying to sell a new image, and your music is subpar. People might look past corny, but you better not waste their time. And since we're on the topic of rebranding, I just want to talk about Jade Thirlwall.
It's not easy being a pop star, but someone's got to do it.
She's about to make her, well, she already made her solo debut, right? The single sounds like a 80s pop ballad meets Euro dance. It's weird, but it isn't bad. My favorite part of the song is the last part where she does the final verse and it slows down. That transition is just fabulous. The lyrics pack a punch. I love how in the video, the side characters, to help emphasize the lyrics even more, to help you better understand it, they actually mouth the lyrics. This is a video that was prime for TRL. Like, great video. I hope she gets nominated at the VMAs or the EMAs.
So I feel like I'm overly qualified.
I know there's a lot of discussion online about who had the better debut single, and to me, it's on par with Don't Say Love, if I'm just factoring the song alone. Now, the song with the music video, it's Angel of My Dreams. And Angel of My Dream, it just kind of feels like it belongs to a concept album, like it's a piece of a whole. So until I experience the whole, I can't appreciate it as much as it needs to be appreciated. So that's it. That's just my 2 cents on the song. Jade needs to do a visual album. That's all I'm saying. Like she could kill it with the visual album. As Jade is promoting her solo single, my expectations from her, I'm being cautiously optimistic. Jade did an interview with Beat Mag and it was made very clear that this was supposed to be a major song. There were 11 looks in the music video. There's genre switch ups, there's a storyline, so it's like a big budgeted thing. Jade even came out alluding to be the next big pop star, but here's my thing. Lee and Jade can say, I want to be the next big thing. Then I set up my expectations and I'm satisfied with the looks. However, an issue I keep seeing with these debuts is that there isn't any performances to really propel the music. When Lee dropped My Love, I was blown away. But there should have been performances lined up right away, right? I'm looking at these award shows, I'm like, where are they, right? I know Lee did like a few, like Perry did it right. Her first single, Forget About Us, it was a cute summer bop. Great first step. And as soon as it dropped, she had tape performances lined up. Now she did the same thing with Tears, but that song really doesn't do it for me, but let me not get into it. Anyways, there's a few award shows coming up, and I need to see Jade on those stages, at these festivals, wherever. I really want Jade to have this big push she craves because it's super bad right now. Like, I don't know what's happening with the promotion.
Are you joking? Is that it?
As a matter of fact, Jade should be having the same type of promotion Camila is having right now. That girl is everywhere, doing everything, and I'm sure Jade would love that. Plus, if I'm going to be inundated with a media blitz, I'd rather have Jade's quality of music. From what I'm seeing, her single is quality and it has artistic merit, which was something I desperately wanted from Little Mix's catalog. In my opinion, 85% of Little Mix's music wasn't the best. Of course, there were a couple of exceptions, but it was obvious that the group's music was meant to sell and to only sell. Artistic integrity nor quality was prioritized. The only thing that made up for the lackluster music was the girls' talent. Now with the girls going solo, I've wanted them to make good music of substance. I want their talent to be truly realized. Jade seems to be on that path. Leanne might be there too. Both were writers for the group, so I'm thinking that these two were passionate about making real music. So hopefully they can get the resources that they need to propel themselves to a bigger audience. Because right now they're getting really desperate and it's hard to watch. Listen, I've dried Camila for her desperation. I have to get the same energy when I see similar behavior.
Make it quick, hon.
Tell me why Leanne was on TikTok, begging her fans to make her song go viral. People thought that she was funny and relatable, but it's not so funny when you consider the rumors that Warner is pulling her budget, and then you see her Spotify streams. Like, she's not begging for no reason. Then there's Jade.
No, I'm a star! Please, I'm a star! I'm a fucking star! The whole world is gonna know my name!
She's starting to do promo, and her first cover is this, showing off her chesticles. And I'm like, oh wow, you're doing this now? And for all those who are saying she's being empowering, owning her sexuality, I don't buy that. Editing me here, I just have to give my opinion on Jade's new look. It was difficult to decipher what it was at first. When she posted this professional shoot to promote her new era, it was giving alternative, dark, definitely following the ugly, pretty girl trend that's going on right now. But then Angel of My Dreams, those photos came out, and we get this fresh-faced, clean girl Jade with perfectly curled two-toned hair, and she's wearing a corseted dress with exaggerated shoulder pads. So then I was thinking, okay, 80s pop girl. But then watching the music video Angel of My Dreams, Jade adds the campy diva to the mix. Then after some time, when seeing Jade doing more photo shoots and events, it's clear that the grunge, edgy Jade with no eyebrows is her main look. And I'ma just be honest, I don't like grunge Jade. I don't think Jade can sell it, and it kind of scares me. But besides that, for Jade to pull out that grunge look, she has to be somewhat intimidating. And you have to ask, what is intimidating about Jade? If anything, she plays into her cutesy side a lot, and it's kind of cringe, especially when it comes to her conveying her sexually mature side. It doesn't really work all the way. The unconventionally attractive thing she's doing, that Gaga did, I don't think she's meant for it. I guess she really wants to distance herself from her Little Mix identity. I just think Jade isn't in the right lane. She's in the right direction though. I can see her being this alternative pop girl, but more like a mix between Khalees and Cher. More Cyndi Lauper, a little less Snow Wife. But I don't know, tell me what y'all think. I will say though, Jade's rebrand is way better than Camila's. At least it makes more sense. I just can't get behind the hypersexual grunge thing she's doing. Like, I don't know, I can't. Looking back at all of this reminds me of her character she played in the Angel of My Dreams music video, where she was willing to do anything for fame. The whole concept is about Jade's toxic relationship to the industry, but I also think that this video showcased all aspects of Jade.
There's multiple versions of myself in the video to kind of almost show all of those characters do exist within me.
Mind you, it's not all camp and humor. There's a lot of symbolism and dark undertones in the music video, and the general consensus that I took from this video can be summed up by this person's reaction.
Okay, is this Jade, like the two parts of Jade? So the one that's in it doing everything she can to please the mogul, and then the now Jade looking at stuff that she did in the past and saying, no, stop this right now. That's what I'm gathering.
I also think that it's really startling with everything that happens in the video. Jade still sings "I Will Always Love You" to the pop music industry.
Busy shooting this
It's really sad seeing where she watches superstar Jade beat up grunge Jade and she realises that it's just not for me, Pab. I don't like this industry, I want out.
What does that say about her? At best, we can respect Jade's ambition and the quality of work she puts out, but at worst, I do question what Jade is willing to do to stay in that pop industry, because it's not just about the music. She can sign any deal to sing, but Jade wants to operate at that high pop star level. She wants to be like her idols, Diana Ross, and Diana was messy and cutthroat, so that's just my take, that's just my opinion. If you have your own, just sound off in the comments below. And listen, I can rock with being a pop star diva who enjoys all the perks of it, but when it comes down to it, I'd want my divas to be able to lead the lifestyle, not be addicted to it. Give me that Lauryn Hill energy. But Jade has made it clear that she's not that kind of girl, which is mind-boggling to me because I had a certain image of Jade from Little Mix. Now I know that that girl doesn't exist. Maybe she did at one point, but it's obvious now Jade has a price. Anyways, the public seems to be really loving what Jade is doing. She's causing some buzz over here stateside. In my opinion, I think because Jade has built up so much goodwill from being in Little Mix, and since she is only showcasing her thirst for success and the work, magazine cover aside, but the people who are paying attention, they are really resonating with the song and the rollout over there in the UK. I know there was a lot of people waiting for Jade's solo stuff in the fandom, so I'm hoping she'll have a better success with her debut. And another side note, I don't know what happens in these girl groups, but someone should study it. There's a pattern going on here. Lee is insecure, Normanis struggles with confidence, then there's Camila who is desperately chasing success, and she has no qualms about it. Okay, so before I end this video, I just want to say a few more things on Miss Hair. She's flopping super hard, and I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. I can't get over how bad CXOXO's chart position is on the 200 right now. It's abysmal. Like, I was shocked. I was laughing, and I literally thought, dang, the ancestors were not playing with Miss Hair. How you chart number 82 after debuting at number 13? I've never seen a free fall like this. After seeing this huge media blitz, seeing all this effort and the album free falls this bad? Yes, there is a God. This situation really drives home how the universe will dole out karma in its own way. Sometimes it's already taken effect and it might not be obvious to us. For example, Camila had great Spotify numbers, but none of her recent music is doing as well as her previous songs. Yes, she's got multiple platinum singles, but then you notice how it's only been steadily declining. She only had one platinum hit from Familia, and it's not looking like she'll have another one from CXOXO. Even her album debuting at number 13 was the worst debut in her career. This is a 4-time Grammy-nominated artist who is 7 years into her solo career, and she only sold 15K pure sales with this album. Like, y'all can't say anything about Normani and her numbers after this. This just really shows how much her initial success was attributed to the machine around her.
Yeah, she's been a dream to work with.
Not after this. I think Camila is in a worse position than ever before. Her whole promotion was fraught with issues from the start. People comparing her to Charlie. Her collaborations are caught up in some serious situations, including her biggest catch, who is in the worst state of his career right now, that he can't even help her out, and she put 90% of her eggs in his basket. The industry can push and push and push, but that doesn't mean that said artist is going to stick. Lastly, another lesson people should take from this is that don't wait around for someone's comeuppance. I decided to block Camila from all platforms like 3 years ago. It was right after I did the video about her, about how insidious her Tumblr scandal actually was. And I made that video to help me release those feelings about her. It was therapeutic, and once I did that video, I was better off. So don't be sticking around trying to wait for these people to mess up or to flop in any type of capacity. Like, just state your opinion and just move on. They don't need that much attention. You're just helping them in the long run. And all of this, I think, is part of Camila's karma. She's been trying to recapture that success she's had in 2018, 2019, and I don't think she'll ever get it. I assumed that the Tumblr scandal took her out from competing on a mainstream level. I figured her privilege of having the complexion for protection, that would be enough to kind of help relegate her to have a steady career on the sidelines, you know, like if she had a loyal enough fan base, she could fall back on them and she could just still kind of operate as a kind of like a lower level pop star, I don't know. And she could still go working on that lower level. But I had no idea that she would have this much of a media blitz again. But with these numbers coming out, I think it's over. I don't even think she has a loyal fan base. I mean, with 15K pure sales, like who? She don't have a loyal anything. Like whatever loyal fan base that she had, I think she kind of disgusted them with this era. So I think they kind of dropped her too. So she's done. The glory days are over. Like, there's nothing she can do to reclaim her past success. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe.